Hey everybody, welcome back to Vital Vessels. I'm Christine, as you know, and I bring amazing organ donors to this platform so that you can learn all about the process of living organ donation, organ recipients, all sorts of transplant stories that we're sharing on the channel. I've got a special guest here today, Joe, and there's something extra special. We are sitting here tonight on the eve before he goes in for surgery to donate his organ. He is a liver donor, and we are going to talk about this journey in organ donation. So welcome aboard. I'm glad you're here, and welcome to Vital Vessels.
Thank you.
It's so glad to have you. So I'm very grateful to be sitting with you here the night before your surgery. How are your nerves, first of all?
I was a little pacey earlier. I left work early.
Yeah.
I just kind of feel like I'm going on a big trip tomorrow. But otherwise, I'm pretty calm about it. I'm not too worried.
So you're going in to have surgery to donate your part of your liver to another person. Tell me what inspired you. Where did this story begin? Why?
My wife's 3-kidney transplant patient herself. I wanted to do something like this for years. I tried years ago to do my kidney, but because I had a history of kidney stones, I wasn't able to do it. Early December, I remember seeing a story on a local news channel about how they were given a report of how many transplants that happened.
Right.
With the local hospital, the one I'm going through, and I looked at that and it's like, yeah, it's time to do this. And
really,
so I signed up right then. It was December 4th is when I initiated the paperwork online to do all that. I didn't tell my wife for 3 weeks.
So you filled out the paperwork and you didn't tell your wife for 3 weeks?
Yeah.
What was going through your mind during that 3 weeks? What were you waiting?
I was fully committed when I filled it out from the get-go, and I knew this is what I was going to do. I knew that she would be supportive. I guess I just wanted to get it going and get it down the path just to see what it was, but I didn't have any questions that I wasn't going to stop.
So when you told her, how did she react?
She was shocked. She was a little upset that I hadn't talked to her about it.
Right.
Because it's kind of a big thing.
Kind of a big deal.
I kind of wanted it to be a surprise. I was trying to keep quiet about it because I didn't want to make a big deal about it.
Right. Well, it is, as you know, from having your wife receive transplants, it is life-altering, and it is a miraculous blessing and a big deal. Yeah. And so you told her about it, and how long did it take from when you applied for the donor team to get a hold of you?
Yeah, it was probably within 2 weeks when I got, I believe the first email or the first, I think it was a phone call that I got. Around Christmas time wasn't the best time for them because they had some people that were out. But I want to say it was pretty quick. I mean,
this last December then.
Yeah. So I always think it was probably 2 weeks when I had the first call, and I had asked them what was from day one, from like what I had started to the date of surgery, what was their approximate window. And I knew that they had said, oh, it's going to be, about approximately the mid-end of February.
Okay. And so here we are, the first week of March, and you're about to go in tomorrow. One thing that I don't know much about is when you go in, Joe is an altruistic donor, which means that he does not know who his recipient is. Tell us about, did they tell you anything about the recipient? Is the recipient located locally, or are they out of state? Do you know anything?
I know nothing. They haven't told me anything. I'd said I would love to meet them if they're willing to meet or say hi or whatever. I'd love to, hear the other side of the story.
Right.
They were very quiet about it. They wouldn't say anything at all, clearly because of HIPAA laws.
Yes.
They did say that at a year out that they would be willing to let me write a letter, and then
Yeah.
they would be happy to pass it on.
So you don't get to know any of that. You don't even know if they're local, right?
No, I don't know if they're local or anything like that, and I didn't even think about asking them really if how sick was the person. I just
Yeah.
know that from dealing with the Angies and they're picking somebody that would benefit the most, or was in the best position and it'd be the most benefit.
So, and what kind of testing did they have to do during that period of time?
I am up to 35 vials of blood.
Yep, they take a lot of blood.
An MRI, which I don't ever want to do that again. CT, bubble test, typical chest X-ray. Yeah, there's lots. So, I mean, that's one of the benefits of this. I know that I've had a great workup, and they're all saying you're in great health. So,
yeah,
that's to me, that's a fantastic benefit to me as the donor, knowing that all these doctors have looked at me. I've had all these tests, all these cancer checks, this and that, and looking at everything, and they're saying, "Oh, you're great." I mean, they did say I still had a couple of kidney stones, not a surprise, but otherwise, I get a very good bill of health. So.
And as you've been walking through the process and finding out that there is someone you match and that the surgery is scheduled, how has it changed? How is your viewpoint on the process changing, and how is it altering you?
I mean, I'm thankful for it. It's a very simple process. You can tell it's very analytical, and unfortunately, I've got a background in this stuff, so I'm not like really nervous. I mean, they've answered all my questions I've had, but I've not really felt like I've been asking a lot of questions because I feel so comfortable with the situation. It's like, I'm ready to go anytime. And to our kids, it seems silly. It's like, ask them, like, are you worried at all? No, they're just so used to it. And it's like, I tell people, it's like I'm going to the instead of going to the dentist, I'm going to the orthodontist. I'm just going to the fancy doctor. No big deal. We're not worried about it. The kids aren't stressing. Nobody's freaking out about it. And that's why I didn't really, I was holding off and telling people because I didn't want it to turn into people looking at, oh, you're just doing it for attention. It's like, no, I can do this. I have no reasons to not. Mm-hmm. I have, and I'm doing it flat out because I can. And I'm not scared at all. You want scared? How about being a loved one of someone who needs an organ and you can't find one? And you have to go shop around and try and ask people, beg for a kidney. Yeah. That's scared. Yeah. The little needle thing, there's worse things. It's nothing. Yeah. I mean, you're going to get a great nap. You're going to get a scar. You're going to get a great story. What are you scared about? And I'll say a lot of it has to do with being on that other side and being where I couldn't do it. And I tried to do a kidney in behalf and couldn't do that. And Angie's first kidney was from her dad. She had it for a couple of years. Then a renal rejection. She went to dialysis. Then she had mom's. She had that for 8 years. That's when I came on scene. And then her kidney went into rejection. Angie had a stroke at dialysis. 2.5 months later, she stroked again. This time much, much more devastating. So now we can't even think about doing a transplant because we have to deal with the stroke situation and going around from all these different hospitals and stuff. And she was trach for 60 plus days. Right. That was an absolute nightmare for 3-4 years. We finally get her, we switched hospitals. We got Angie's health up to where she was better. And we were trying again to find a donor. Right. And her sister's like, you know what? Let me try. Her sister was a perfect match. Absolute carbon copy match. Wow. They ran the test that they used for matching 12 times. To make sure. Like literally like an hour before the surgery, they ran the test again because they're like, this doesn't happen. Being in that spot where was just absolutely scared in a dark hole, because my wife needs something besides dialysis, because with her stroke that wrapped it up even worse, her brain to heal needs fresh blood, good blood and everything.
Yeah.
Can't do that when you're on dialysis.
Yeah. Wow.
So that was just, that really stuck with me. And I wanted to do something. And instead of, and we've all been there, we've been on the sidelines. We've watched a friend go through something medically or die from something or lose whatever it is. And you always want to do something. I can actually do something. I don't know the person. That's fine. That's not the point. The point is somebody doesn't have to go through what I went through that dark, horrible time, and worrying as a spouse, how long is my wife going to be on this? How long does she have? Because she was not, the best candidate. Wow. And only because her sister matched was the reason they were like, okay, we'll do this. But otherwise, if their sister hadn't matched, she'd just been on the list.
I love that perspective. I am so impressed at how calm you are.
I mean, part of it has to, I just look at it, it's like, because of my background with hospitals and then with what she's gone through, I totally understand. It's about perspective. You're giving someone probably the three most precious things that we have. You're giving somebody life, you're giving someone time, and you're giving someone the chance to be loved by others. By giving that gift, that small little bit of you to them, you're giving those three things to them.
And now you know why I brought him to this channel, was that right there. It's an amazing gift. I appreciate you coming into the channel today to watch this interview with Joe, and keep your thoughts, your prayers, all those wonderful good mojo for his surgery tomorrow. I will follow up and let you know how everything goes. And thank you for coming into Vital Vessels today and watching the channel. Thank you. Bye.